Hey everyone, so today we are going to talk about how my whole surrogacy journey started, why and when, all the follow-up appointments, all the phone calls, all that good stuff. So it's been, and I apologize, I'm in my car, I'm actually on my lunch break right now. So it's been quite a while since I've been wanting to be a surrogate mom. And I've never actually had the guts, I guess I should say, to follow through and to make everything happen. However, the beginning of this year, which was in March, late at night I was just laying in bed, and so many things, you're laying in bed and you start thinking about all these things. Well, I thought, like, okay, so this is something that I've always been wanting to do, and there has been a few things that has stopped me from actually going through with it. Possibly wanting to have more children, all that good stuff. But at this time, I thought, okay, well, for one, I'm single. I don't have my significant other to tell me yes or no, that, more or less giving me their opinion. Majority, pretty much my whole family, they're all extremely supportive. I just thought, you know what, this is going to be the right time to do it, so why not go ahead and fill out the application and more or less, like, let's get this process going. So what I did is I typed up surrogacy, or what was it, surrogate or surrogacy, something like that, and Los Angeles surrogacy website came up. Filled out a quick application, basic information, your name, your last name, phone number, email, all that good stuff. Once you forward them all that, it's more or less letting them know that you're interested in moving on to the next process. Once they receive that, they'll send you an email, and it's more into detail. It's more or less your demographics. How many pregnancies, how many live pregnancies, if you've had any past complications, all that good stuff. If you're willing to carry twins, how many embryos more or less you're willing to carry. Well, a few years ago when I thought about doing this, I thought, well, I'm not going to be a good candidate for it, simply because my daughter, which is 10 years old, she'll be 11 in January, she was born with a birth defect called gastroschisis. Automatically, I thought, well, since she was born with the birth defect, they're not going to approve me, more or less, because there's still that slight chance of me possibly having another child with a birth defect. However, I was completely wrong. They approved me, got the whole process going. It was pretty simple. Phone interview was more or less everything that I completed out on the internet, but they just asked me over the phone. So what they did is they matched me first with a single gay male from China. However, he was HIV positive. I slept on it that night, just thinking about, do I really want to carry this man's child? No doubt in my mind. I mean, I don't care if the person is single, gay, lesbian, married, whatever the case is. I don't care, as long as I am helping on completing that person's family. I don't care what their situation is or where they're coming from. It doesn't really matter. However, because this one was a little sensitive, I had to reject it, just because I have my children, I have my family. The risk percentage is extremely low. So how they explained it to me was, they get the sperm, they put it like in a washing machine, like a washer machine. So what they do is they'll stick it in there, and this washer machine, I should say, washes out all the HIV, and it only keeps more or less the good sperm. But because there was still that 1% of me possibly getting HIV and having to take prescription for the rest of my life, I didn't want to chance it. So had to contact the Los Angeles surrogacy back to let them know that unfortunately I didn't want to be matched with the single gay male from China. Couple of days went by, they matched me with someone else. This male is also single. He is not gay. He's also from China. Now, if you guys are probably wondering why are there so many cases from China, keep in mind that the female population is extremely low out in China. And I don't quite know the situation for this single male. But I mean, like I said from the beginning, I don't care if the person is single, gay, lesbian, straight, married. I don't care what the situation is, as long as my children and myself are able to help and complete this person's family. So let's move on to the next step. So once we were matched, or excuse me, once we interviewed each other, so we FaceTimed each other over, it's called an app from, it's more or less an app that people from China use to communicate with people to us over here in the United States. It's called WeChat. So we FaceTimed on WeChat, asked each other a few questions, more or less if he felt comfortable with moving forward with this whole process with me, and vice versa. We both agreed, boom, done deal, we were moving on to the next step. So now the next step was, if I remember correctly, had to go and do more or less like a physical, a pap smear to show that I was clear, that I was good to go, all that good stuff. At that current time, I was currently on the, that one birth control, which was the IUD. Now, we had to schedule an appointment to get that removed, and what the Los Angeles Surrogacy place was going to do was get me back onto birth control, but the method was a pill. So scheduled my IUD removal, I believe it was sometime in May, got that removed, which was the most painfulest thing ever. For some reason they couldn't find it. Eventually, thank God they found it and they removed it. Once that was removed, I started the birth control pills. Pretty much once I started my period, and then I started the birth control pills. Was on the birth control pills for a few months, which actually I was on them for 3 months, I believe. On the birth control pills, like I said, I was continuing blood work, going down and getting blood work done, getting ultrasounds done to check the lining of my uterus, all that good stuff. During this time, I had absolutely no contact with the guy from China, only because we cannot talk to the other person until the contract is officially signed, like being notarized and submitted and all that good stuff. So once all that stuff was done, the facility they do provide with my own attorney. Had to contact the attorney, had to review the whole contract if I had any questions, any concerns, to add any more stuff into it, all that good stuff. Everything was pretty good, except my only thing was, because I have 1% of Cherokee Indian in me, we had to revise the contract to add that in there, so that way my tribe doesn't try to more or less claim the child. So we had to revise that, which took about a week or so. Came back, took it to an office to get it notarized, submitted it. Once all that was done, then I was able to finally get in contact with the guy from China. We've been in contact. We talk to each other maybe about every day, every other 2 days or so, just because of the whole time difference. He's extremely busy. He works, he goes to school. You know how that life is. I'm pretty sure all of you guys go through that and whatnot. So all that's happening. Let's see, what else did I skip? Besides that, everything has been going great. Like I said, just a few weeks ago I went in for the embryo transfer, or actually started taking the medication, which is the hormones. I first started on the injections, and then about a week to 2 weeks after that, I started taking the suppository pills. Now, the suppository pills is great. However, you just have to adjust to them little by little, only because it is a little messy. ladies, you know what I mean by being messy down there. You just have to make sure that you get it up there, you know what I mean? Don't kind of just, you know, leave it there, because it's just yucky. The pills, the injection is not that bad. The liquid is thin. It's not a thick liquid, so it goes in pretty smoothly. I'm not gonna lie, every so often it is a little painful. It may just be because I hit the same spot, or it's just, I have no idea why it hurts more than other times. When I went in for the embryo transfer, I did ask if there was any way that I can get on the progesterone injection. They said it was completely fine. However, those injections are extremely painful. So I said no thank you. I'll just stick to the messy, icky, yucky pills, which is fine. I'm getting used to it. Only thing is I will have to continue this until about my 10th or the 11th week of my pregnancy, which is no big deal. It's more or less keeping the baby safe and making sure that the baby is growing perfectly fine in my uterus. So next, on to the next step. So recently got a new job at Facey Medical Group as a medical receptionist, and I had to go do the whole blood screening, clearance, all that good stuff to make sure that I'm in good health, I have no TB, all that good stuff. Well, come to find out, I was TB positive. I was positive for TB, and because I am pregnant, I was not able to get a chest x-ray done to clear me. However, because we don't want this to affect the baby and myself, my doctor actually cleared me to get a chest x-ray done, so that way we can figure all this stuff out, and if not, so that way I can begin taking antibiotics. Come to find out, and it's great news, I am not TB positive. I'm not positive for TB. What had happened was I was exposed to TB when I have no idea how. I have no idea. It is airborne. So I got the chest x-ray done last week on Thursday and got the results back yesterday, and it's negative. So it was a little weird, scary, a little nerve-wracking, just because, great, I have to take another pill, or, you know, whatever the case is. Not only that, but it can harm the baby and it can harm me. But the thing that kind of got us a little off track was that I wasn't having any symptoms. That's what made us think that it was a false positive. So thank God it is. Now tomorrow, which is October 26th, I have my first ultrasound scheduled in the morning at 9 o'clock. I'm super excited, and so is the intended dad. I don't know what else to say, that I'm pretty excited. This journey has been going amazing so far. Something that I also want to talk about is I love sharing this story with everybody. However, keep in mind that everyone has their own opinion. Some are good, some are bad, some are a little hurtful. Mainly from males. Their reaction is always, why? Why do you want to do that? You're going to ruin your body. And oh my gosh, you're going to get so attached to the baby. And then you're going to go crazy. You're going to lose your mind, and, being all dramatic. Let me tell you guys that it's a mental thing that you have to mentally accept in your mind, that you cannot and you will not get attached to this baby. You have to keep in mind that this baby is not genetically my baby. I'm just the oven. The way I explain it to everybody is I'm just the oven for this baby. Baby is not using my eggs. The intended dad already got an egg donor, and the egg donor is actually Caucasian and Brazilian, and then the father is Chinese. Great mixture. It's amazing. Can't wait to see how the baby's gonna come out. But like I said, I get different opinions from everybody, and which is great. I really appreciate it. From the females now, awesome. You're amazing. You have such a big heart. you're extremely strong. You know, my family, like my aunts and my uncles, why would you do this? You know, you're gonna get so attached. You know, I am a weak person, and a lot of people do know that. However, because I already have my family, and I feel like my family is complete, and if I have that opportunity to be pregnant and carry a child for another family that's unable to, I'm more than happy to do that. One thing is, I enjoy being pregnant. Yeah, I don't enjoy the whole weight gain and whatnot, but at the end of the day, it's completely worth it. I do plan on keeping in contact with the family, or excuse me, with the intended dad, and hopefully sometime take my children and myself to China to go and visit out there. And that's pretty much it for now. Kind of ran through the whole process of how more or less we got here, and it's been going great so far, and I only hope that it continues going great. I mean, I don't think it can get any better because everything is going great so far. I don't have any symptoms to the pregnancy, don't have any morning sickness, never had any morning sickness with 2 of my other children in the pregnancy. Only thing that has caught me a little off guard, which was yesterday. I'm not a big chocolate fan, and yesterday my coworkers were actually eating candy, and she popped a chocolate in her mouth, and she started talking, and I smelt it. I really wanted chocolate. So looked in a little pumpkin thing, since it's around Halloween. There was a Baby Ruth in there, and I just couldn't help it, but I had to eat a Baby Ruth. Not only one, but 2, and then 1 Butterfinger. So that's the only thing that has caught me off, or you know, that I realized a little bit. But besides that, I'm not having any other cravings, or not waking up at night wanting to eat a bowl of ice cream, or whatever the case is. But everything has been going good, and I hope it continues going this way, and I'll try and keep up with you guys. If you guys have any questions, comment below, subscribe to our page, like, share, all that good stuff, and hopefully things will get better. What I do, or what I would